The Ford Bronco is Ford's off-road centric vehicle, and this one we have with us here today is a Heritage Edition, which is one of the most beautiful versions of this car out there, and I'm here to tell you why this should be your next car. Now, the first thing I want to talk about with this car is the beautiful front it has, and boy is it beautiful. With this Heritage Edition, you get this white front bumper, which I think stands out phenomenally with this robin egg blue, which on record from me, I think is the best color option Ford has to date. You also get some practicality, which is definitely important with a vehicle that you want to be taking off-road, with these headlights that'll shine you through on the darkest of nights, and these tow hooks in case, worst case scenario, this car gets stuck, but I can almost guarantee that this thing is a powerhouse off-road and you will not have those issues. Now, speaking of what makes this vehicle powerful, is we're going to talk about the powertrain on this thing. You have Ford's V6 EcoBoost 2.7 liter engine in here that creates 330 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. It may not seem like a lot, but in this bad boy, when you get off-road and you're doing what this car is built to do, it feels phenomenal. Now, moving on to the side of this vehicle, this is also the Sasquatch package, so it does give you a few little additions here on the side, like these extra raised fender flares that give you a little bit extra ground clearance, as well as these 35-inch mud terrain tires to help you get out of those sticky situations. Now, the back of the Bronco is also a wonderful part of this car, giving you 22.4 cubic feet of storage space back here, which is a healthy amount, as well as you have the ability to get a little bit extra if you push those seats up. On top of that, you get another 35-inch tire put on the back, which looks beautiful in my opinion and really brings the car together. Now that we've finished our full 360 of the outside, there's one more thing I would like to bring up before we get started on that interior, which is you have the ability to take off the doors on the Bronco to give you that fresh open air experience that a lot of people crave for. It's a real simple process. All you got to do is pull a little lever, door pops out, and most Broncos are equipped with storage in the back where you can put it safely and not worry about it getting scratched. We're not going to demonstrate that here today just because I don't got the time, but we are going to happily talk about the interior if you just follow me in. Now, getting into the Bronco, it's a very nice interior and you can feel comfortable off-rip, but let's talk about some of the features that this bad boy has included. Now, the first thing that you're going to notice when you get in this car is this beautiful white dashboard. This matches the white all around the car and really brings the car together, giving you a nice, luxurious feel, in my personal opinion, by still being a good off-road vehicle. You have this black outline, which is pretty sturdy, which you're not going to worry about, if a rock flies in when the doors are off or anything like that, really scratching or breaking. On top of that, you do have this beautiful, massive Sync 4 display in the middle, which hands down, I think is the best infotainment system that you can have on the market right now, and I would not want another one in this car. It is super responsive, and there's nothing really quite like it. Now, some of the features down here are really, really nice. You have dual zone climate control, which is perfect because it lets your passenger and you have different climate settings, which is always a benefit. You have heated seats and heated steering wheel, but no cooled seats, which is something I wish they would include in the new one. But if you're having your doors off, you might not want the cooled seats because the air will be flowing in constantly. Up here, you have a little bit of connectivity. You have a USB-C, a USB-A, and a wireless charger included in this car with the upgrade packages we've discussed. One more feature I want to talk about down here specifically is going to be GOAT modes. GOAT modes basically lets you customize the way you drive. It's this little dial here, you just spin it, you get so many different options, such as like rut, dune, sand, mud, slippery, whatever you need to make sure your driving experience is perfectly suited for this car. GOAT modes has you covered. Now, to keep it with the off-road features that this vehicle offers, you have an electronic locking front and rear axle to help fully with those off-roading situations, as well as 6 auxiliary switches up top here to make your life a little bit easier. Now, one of the things I really want to talk about before we finish on the interior here is going to be the driver's experience themselves. This starts with the steering wheel, which is definitely a firm, tight steering wheel that definitely feels good when off-roading. It's not my favorite daily driving steering wheel, but it definitely does exactly what the car is intended to do. On top of that, you have a partially digital gauge cluster up here, which lets you see your tire pressure, your fuel, whatever you want to do, and I think works really, really nicely with the car. And if you want that analog gauge cluster, it is still here on the left side, which is definitely a nice little touch to give you that rugged feel. The very last thing I want to talk about in this car is going to be the cameras it has as well. This has a very solid backup camera, as well as a 360 view camera, just to show those little obstacles on your side that you might want to get over. Now, that was the 2023 Ford Bronco Heritage Edition, and boy is this car amazing. I personally think it is phenomenal off-road, and it is beautiful through in and throughout. I think it's one of the most beautiful cars you will see on the road, and I would be happy to get caught in one of these.